Welcome everyone to another breaking news, IT news live here. Everything amazing or broken this week. Let's move this somewhere here or something where I can at least see it a little bit. So yeah, lots of stuff happened except including our own broken P3 last time. So let's see if this works, if this is a pure pulse audio issue or binary only Epifan, crap binary only capture stuff. Anyway, yeah, let's get started. So NVIDIA releases big driver update with ultra low latency mode, integer scaling and more. Why is this newsworthy? Welcome, Detard, by the way. Much appreciated. This is newsworthy because this is actually quite cool setup. Anyway, because I find this so funny that it was in the news and so many big news sites. This integer scaling here is an example in linear interpolation or Turing integer scaling. Like, seriously, are you kidding me? So we made this amazing educational videos with S3 Verge and Voodoo and fun stuff like that. And of course, even the very first, well, not only BitBLT, like maybe teasing 84,000, but in any case, the S3 Verge and Voodoo, you can select whether you want integer scaling or linear interpolation. Actually, I need to check with the Voodoo though. Maybe, can you disable this? Anyway, at least on all normal cards, maybe not the Voodoo, but S3 Verge, you can certainly, and you see here, this should be the easiest, right? Every OpenGL has filtering or not. I find this hilarious that even on big news sites they say people have waited for, you know what, if I would be the vendor supplier of the graphic driver, you would certainly not need to wait. Where is the center? You certainly would need to wait a decade for that. This is hilarious. Also in other news, this is not even the most amazing scaling feature. But leave me in the comments below, do you want like integer scaling, or because there are this more amazing open source pixel art scaling here, this FQ2A and scale 2x was one of the first. I would, so this integer scaling, I mean, like seriously, what's wrong with modern IT stuff? Where's even my right senior? So I would be more impressed if they would have implemented, or by the way, certainly you can implement this, right? I would think it should certainly possible to implement this scale 2x, scale 4x, and then there are this new also, this FQ whatever, yeah, pixel art scaling. So this, here's actually comparison chart. So can this not be, of course this fancy algorithms result in this rounded corners that you may or may not want, prefer or like. Leave me in the comments below, what do you think are the most amazing integer? It's like, seriously, what is wrong with these big companies? And why you certainly want to share, like, and subscribe to my funny comments here. Yeah, so certainly there are many also scale to X. So with this I would be impressed, but not with this good old-fashioned nearest neighbor scaling that even the S3 Verge had in 1996 or something like that. Also somehow I think I need to make this larger to be able to read it here actually in the corner of that screen. Somehow not yet, maybe I put it there after all. Somehow the scaling is also not amazing. Speaking about scaling, actually can also make this window larger. Yeah, so there you have it. I also find this so hilarious that in this day and age all the big news sites presented like the most amazing scaling when, in my opinion, hey, we have not yet pulled audio broken. Yeah, Detard's DOS machine has Turing integer scaling. Yeah, my own 200 line S3 Verge stuff has. Yeah. Also shenanigans on the NVIDIA driver. What I find so hilarious also, or sad, that they disable virtualization for virtualization for the graphic cards to server SKUs, and this is certainly why they want to keep their driver not open source. And yeah. Anyway, in more amazing news, Intel something here from Hot Chips, the conference there that is currently on or was ongoing the last days. Maybe coming to an end right now. Hot Chips 31, and I found it newsworthy. Not only some news sites write that, of course, the new Intel CPUs are totally confusingly numbered again and continuously. So like now they double down on confusing numbering. But more newsworthy here is that they what is 3D concept in 3D stacking. Anyway, they now have little and big. How can this advertisements also go out of my way? Stop seeing this. It's so they have here now big little. How do they call this? Yeah, here ARM big little. So these lightweight processors are the first to come onto the market with Intel's new 3D chip stacking technology. The current design consists of 2 dies, a lower die housing all the typical source bridge features like I/O. By the way, of course, similar to what AMD has done. So Intel a little bit late to the party here, because the AMD chiplets on their Ryzen, the current second gen Ryzen 3000, they have the compute cores in whatever that was it 7 nanometer, and the I/O cores on 10 or something of that sort. So of course Intel is following AMD's footprints here. And yeah, the only other news worthy also like I/O is still fabbed in 22 FFL process, and the upper die in 10 nanometer CPU that features 1 large compute core and 4 small atom-based efficiency cores. And yeah, x86 is so complex. Well, although ARM has this also, right? So this is the same, that ARM has this big little, meaning they have ARM smartphone stuff, big cores for high CPU throughput computing stuff, and then the little cores for high efficiency, battery life, background tasks, refreshing email. I'm personally, by the way, not the greatest fan of that. Just need to play with my Windows here more. Not the greatest fan of that, because I would rather, before having to deal with all this complexity, have one stuff. Yeah, detailed right scheduling complexities. It's not only that. So as far as because I always wondered, I have long not taken a look into this. This is why. It's also refreshing for me, have here this YouTube channel, being back with hardcore hardware shenanigans, but also presenting here the more outstanding news to the public, because I've not seen this for a long time, until some years ago when this was already old, becoming vintage or retro on ARM side, because the applications are seeing this right on Linux. When you are booting one of those smartphones, Samsung or whatnot, Android here, Nexus, Pixel stuff, the application sees this cores, right? So even it's not only scheduling, it's even application who are exposed to running on cores. So on a real mobile stack, you certainly want to log to those cores potentially, and it's confusing now, like holy shit. Yeah, that's just what I said. Welcome to the audience. I said this already. Probably something to take a look for, another news tomorrow or something. I've seen this. I've not taken a closer look, but I saw that on many news sites. They wrote this. In similar news, Big Blue, meaning IBM open sources power chip instruction set, and of course a lot of news sites, well, of course it's also the point of news sites to present this here unbiased. I also should stop here my own video feed. But honestly, it's a little bit, although we love here the P3 and the G4 and the G5, but having run the Xeon yesterday, it's of course crazy comparing this to the G5 also with VR and Ryzen, that the G5 was totally power hungry, right? The dual core G5 that I have is also consuming in total 150 watts on the wall outlet there. And it's a little bit, in my opinion, certainly, I said this before, this Raptor Engineering Power 8 or what this was, I said this is a joke with this other video some weeks ago. If it gets 1000 likes, I order it. But honestly, well, it was already a little bit waste of my money, this VR Nano from yesterday or day before yesterday, and the Xeon, just to test what we had here in stock, if this eBay Xeons even works. But honestly, this is of course, again, not as mass market, so of course IBM needs to have this research and development finance, so these chips are relatively expensive and not the most efficient. Of course, relatively high performance, but not the most energy efficient. So for me, similar to MIPS, this is a little bit on the last leg here, right? The last attempt otherwise with either x86 mainstream high performance and big mainstream business, and otherwise, well, smartphone ARM, network stuff MIPS, but even that is a little bit falling behind, I guess. And this is, in my opinion, certainly why MIPS, their Imagination Technologies, made it open source, the MIPS instruction set previously, of course, with our lovely Octane there matching the theme. But with Power, I would also think this is IBM's sort of last attempt to keep this alive, because otherwise I personally see this, and I of course also like free stuff, right? Like, who doesn't like free stuff? But if I would make a CPU nowadays, I also, with my previous videos, if you want to watch those, taking a look at the RISC-V instruction set architecture, that was actually quite clean and well sorted. And people said rightfully PowerPC is not as nicely structured, and I didn't remember it so precisely because I usually more dealt on, I never implemented an assembler, right? So I implemented assembly in the Linux kernel or single instruction multiple data optimizations, but I looked into the instruction set architecture, probably also something to make a dedicated video about, and it is a little bit more horrific and not as clean as RISC-V, for example. So I'm personally not the biggest fan of either. ARM is really convoluted, and PowerPC is also a lot of it. Even, by the way, few people know that it came from Power, right? So before PowerPC there was Power, and the first PowerPC chips could even run Power and PowerPC code. That was a architecture before PowerPC. Yeah, the application knowing nothing, let big onion core scheduling needs to know about what's needed and stuff. Yeah, scheduling, and yeah, again, it's the application. So it's not even the scheduler, right? Because the operating system scheduler is probably a little bit not that much aware of, I think. In my opinion, it's probably more like higher level user space system policy, like system-wide energy daemon, making the choice of now only running little in cores and such. Was a thing on employee's laptop on a plane, the emipsing, which emipsing, I don't understand. This was Intel's naming, sort on an employee's laptop on a plane, emipsing. Guess I need to Google this. Anyway, I personally see the world more, well, we have x86, as much as I don't like it as well. Welcome, Devi. As much as I find x86 also too convoluted and error prone and hilariously, insanely complex and patent encumbered and everything, I don't see x86 going away. EMIB, Intel EMIB, what is EMIB? Intel Custom Foundry, okay, but multi-die, okay. Yeah, also we can quickly shout this out, Power, IBM Wiki, probably, let's see, IBM Power instruction set, reduced, where would they write this here, power related, other, power efficient, either involved into probably the IBM Power, maybe this, either developed by IBM, stands for performance optimized with enhanced risk, so either used as a base for high-end microprocessors from IBM during the 1990s and were used on many IBM servers, mini computers, workstations, supercomputers, those processors are called Power 1, RIOS 1, RIOS 9, RSX RUT 6000 and Power 2. They either involved into PowerPC instruction set. So yeah, I was not the most impressed there. Like maybe because of that, maybe I should take a look on this, but it was not the most clean. Devi asks, is RISC-V a suitable replacement for x86? Well, probably, maybe not yet, but it is implementation, right? So right now the single instruction multiple data is not finalized, but as soon as there is single instruction multiple data for this vectorized instructions for multimedia stuff, I would say yes. Also Clifford Wolf from Rock Linux creation fame just today on Twitter, which let me just change to maybe that while I open Twitter, that you're not overloaded with whatever crazy stuff I have scrolling by there. Let's search for Clifford Wolf for a second. Just today he posted tweets, and yeah, just here, and he wrote in a reference. So Clifford Wolf is also, he's doing FPGA stuff nowadays, reverse engineering bitstream and open source toolchain stuff, and has a Pico RISC-V implementation, and he wrote in Verilog. So he's also the author of the bit manipulation extension that I also already talked about already previously, and he wrote just today, he wrote 8 hours ago, Verilog reference implementation of all proposed RISC-V bitmap instructions, bit manipulation instructions. So this is not only like set bit and clear bit, but also pop count, first bit set, shuffling and permutations and all kind of stuff. So probably with bit manipulation and single instruction multiple data, you want for high performance. I would say most likely that is an amazing. And of course, this is only the instruction set architecture, the kind of numbers that the CPU reads and executes. Then what is needed is of course a superscalar, out of order, maybe even speculative for Spectre and Meltdown vulnerabilities, high performance core. But then I would certainly say yes. There was another thing, what application would be better for PowerPC architectures compared, what applications would be better for PowerPC architecture compared to ARM? Asks Ian. In my opinion, none. This is just, if you are like IBM, you want to sell CPUs, you certainly can't sell x86, so this is why we just have, otherwise, if x86 would not be patent encumbered and like proprietary, we could all use x86, but honestly, I find x86 a little bit too disgustingly complex, and in my opinion, we should also get away a little bit of this, but that's just my opinion. Teacher writes, with RISC-V be able to do 125 with Turing? Yeah, that is a good question. You probably need to ask NVIDIA. Maybe they can even this integer scaling, maybe even the latest NVIDIA probably gets RISC-V for the microcontroller that is using boot up and frequency scaling, maybe even this fancy integer scaling they can even run on the 16 megahertz RISC-V frequency scaling MCU. In similar news, OpenPower was recently opened up. Yeah, this is just what I said. You probably just tuned in. Yeah, so probably this initialization core, this is what I was joking, this initialization core is probably full enough to do integer scaling, I would estimate. Maybe not at 120 frames, maybe only at 60 frames. Anyway, German news I translate. Was there a leak at MasterCard? You would think that all the big companies like MasterCard, Visa have all their data somehow nicely locked up, but apparently there was a huge Excel spreadsheet. I also wonder, why do people keep stuff in Excel spreadsheets around, you name it. And yeah, apparently, I don't know how banks and share apparently 10,000 or 90,000 credit card stuff, but yeah, I don't really get this, how in general data protection stuff nowadays and all the data leaks and breaks, and I have no idea. Apparently with personal data, priceless, apparently from the bonus program of priceless specialists, like, what the heck, I don't even get this anymore. This seriously feels like Yeah, you know this Star Trek Next Generation parallel universe stuff where everything is broken and anything. This is so hilarious. Yeah, you would protect those credit card numbers, but apparently you keep them around in Excel spreadsheets for everything to see. In similar news, the third stuff there is warns for unpatched security holes in Cisco Firepower firewall software. Of course, Cisco here recurring theme, our weekly news here of exactly this movie. And so they warn of, as usual, Cisco stuff. Apparently a lot of people do not reboot. I also heard from other people that rebooting some of this fancy modern operating system and user space kind of firewall stuff, they boot in 15 minutes or something. So a lot of people don't even reboot them because then that would mean outages, and then you never know what other stuff this updates break. So this union there of third stuff of the BSI, German, I think, information security stuff there, they warn here that this risk is very high and so on as usual. But why is someone still using Cisco? I don't know. In similar news, also not this. And anyway, researchers publish second Stream 0 day after getting banned from Valve's bug bounty program. As you see, you have bug bounty programs, you get hundreds of thousands for bugs, and then they say, thank you, we will now blacklist you. You are not allowed to use. You send too many security vulnerabilities. We will not pay you any more 100,000 euros to Russia or something. I think in the meantime, so then like everyone criticized him for like publishing this then on like GitHub or something, but they responded apparently that actually they covered this in a separate article. Anyway, I read somewhere that like Steam Valve excuse for this was a mistake, as usual. He writes this Felix Arca Tua or something. Valve bans them from the H1 program. So anyway, but I would certainly say, well, this is fair game, right? I would not, if they really ban here security researchers because they don't like them or they post so many bugs or I don't know, then in any case, I think everyone is free, free speech, just speak whatever you want. And if you manufacture defect products, then it's just what it is. And fair game, in my opinion, if whatever, something. Also, by the way, I think they initially thought maybe they initially thought it's not a bug and they won't fix this, I think was the story. In similar news, backdoor code found in 11 Ruby libraries. You probably remember this from previous news, this huge container stuff that often gets backdoored, which I'm not the biggest fan of this kind of centralized repositories where people break in and cargo and rust and stuff. But now the same stuff what previously happened to PHP and stuff. Yeah, this is the rest of centralized repositories, and then you also with this JavaScript, Node.js, or all this stuff, dependencies where people break into your web server because you have some dependencies, maybe even automatically updated. Then you pull them in, you get some backdoors, and similar stuff found now in Ruby, whatever libraries, and discovered yesterday or the day before the article. Anyway, according to analyst. Dutch Ruby developer, malicious code found in REST client would collect and send URLs and environment variables of a compromised system to the remote server in Ukraine. And yeah, apparently those REST client, Bitcoin, something coming soon. Yeah, amazing libraries coming soon, like Coinbase, awesome bot, you name it. It's only awesome if it comes with a backdoor. In similar news, flaws of cell phone evidence prompts review of 10,000 verdicts in Denmark. This is also a recurring theme. The German government, along of course all the other friendly Five Eyes and Friends and Family, course, all the governments are so stupid and learn resistant that they want to collect more data and break into everyone's PC. They're even the German government, so you don't even need to watch to the USA or UK or anywhere else in between, or Australia and all the friendly Five Eyes friends and family. Even the German is no exception. And in Germany, friendly security researchers and hackers, including myself, we have warned for decades, opening here's a Pandora's box. And just in this week, they also had their in Germany, they want to allow the Secret Service is allowed to break in, which is, in my opinion, violation of the German constitution there also, but apparently not what politicians in this day and age care about. In my opinion, totally unthinkable that Secret Service is allowed to break into an apartment to install surveillance software and hack a PC. But yeah, there we have it also. Then yeah, exactly this kind, like how do you even make sure that this stuff is authentic and not compromised? Huge problem, right? And of course they found a flaw there in the cell phone evidence. And yeah, and then it's exactly right in a real proper state like Denmark, Germany and stuff, not the banana republic. Then of course you need to open all those cases and review if this manipulated, defect, sniffed data there is even used there, and people are innocent in prison because of tampered and corrupt data. In similar news, I say this in a different. So there's a new Asus Zenbook. This is slightly newsworthy because it's using AMD Ryzen, which of course we like very much. So if you're looking for some probably halfway decent affordable, not really sure if this is the most amazing, doesn't look too bad. Need to look in the specs, but also not sure with this calculator stuff. There is it for anyway something. Not really sure. By the way, this advice is the German side. Anyway, you get the idea. Maybe it's not the most amazing. If you have any experience with any of those, let me know in the comments below. Also, this Harman Kardon and Dolby Atoms often doesn't mean much and often sounds like crap anyway. It's hilarious. In similar news, if you want something affordable, not really sure how new this is. I saw this scrolling by, yeah, whatever. But if this do not always need to be expensive. Does this even come? Not really sure if it comes with AMD, maybe not. But I only wanted to say this compact ultra light do not need to be the most expensive. You also find AMD Syn stuff, if you will, as you have seen in my previously failing live stream. So right now we have not lost pulse audio, so dongle galore, so not the greatest fan of ultra Syn light. Only wanted to shout out here some stuff that I saw scrolling by a news site that might be entry-level stuff for people to enjoy. Speaking about entry-level stuff, this is hilarious. Apple credit card can be damaged by wallet and jeans, like seriously, the doubling down on capitalism, it's hilarious. Your precious white Apple card, it's like, yeah, seriously, it's a credit card. Also, if a company needs to grow and doesn't have any ideas, so you don't make a self-driving car, you don't make amazing Macs, you do not make upgradable Macs, you do not make affordable modular Macs, you basically build failing dust keyboards that nobody wants anymore. And if you still need to somehow make sure you cash in the most money, then you even make a credit card service, the most old-fashioned stuff in the industry. It's hilarious. You don't really need innovation for this, in my opinion. This is really the quadration of capitalism, capitalist insanity. Yeah, of course you're holding it wrong. Of course I compiled the matching service knowledge base stuff for that about your Pentium Apple card. How to clean your Pentium Apple card. Gently wipe with a soft, slightly damp, lint-free microfiber cloth. Moisten a soft microfiber cloth with isopropyl alcohol. Gently wipe the card. Don't use window or household cleaners on your precious Apple Pentium card. Compressed air, aerosol spray, solvents, ammonia or abrasives to clean your Pentium Apple card. Some fabrics like leather or denim might cause. So yeah, there you have it. Only live on your channel. How to use your Apple card. Do not put it in leather, denim. Might cause permanent discoloration that might not wash off. I told you so. Anyway, I would not recommend going with them. Yeah, you are storing it wrong in your wallet or jeans, but I find this so. I really have no words. I find it already. By the way, I made a shout out about how many people. In the meantime, we got over hundreds of emails of people harassing us still about exact scan software version compatible with Catalina there, 10.15 or whatever that is. And I said it before, I said it again. Normal users, how are, from our small unsuccessful software stuff, why are so many people running this beta software and harassing developers about this? Do you think we want to spend all our time hunting Apple's bugs here and then they need a credit card? And I also don't understand how people can get so trapped into this relative distortion field to really get this. If do people not have enough, more than enough credit cards? And each, by the way, I take a flight, I land somewhere, at each airport they harass you with stands selling you or marketing it. By the way, just this week someone called me from MasterCard. Hello, can I speak with the managing director? Yeah, I'm on the phone already. Yeah, I wanted to speak about your credit card situation. Yeah, what is with the situation? Yeah, blah blah blah. We want, probably you're not the most satisfied. No, I'm satisfied. Is it something urgent or something, or security breach or something? Or no, I just want to, excuse me, come to the point. And by the way, time is money. I can't really not socialize with each person who wants to send me a credit card on the phone every other week. But yeah, I really don't understand this. It's hilarious. But yeah, they, by the way, why do we not have amazing Macs? Because they spend all their time and research on self-driving cars and titanium Apple cards. Probably a best match for your titanium PowerBook. Last but not least, if you have not heard it, Friday for Future is today, and so is the Amazon in Brazil is on fire. How bad is it? Apparently pretty bad. Maybe not only, so this is years, more than double the numbers in Brazil since than in 2013. Maybe not all caused by global warming, but maybe intentionally to use this for farming, which I find hilarious, that people set this maybe intentionally, allegedly on fire to burn it down, to have their fields. You see it from space, you see it everywhere. It gives our already climate crisis the last kick in the butt there. It is really sad, especially if it's caused intentionally. Of course, I understand people want to earn money, but can you please find a business concept to earn money without destroying our planet? I probably make a couple of more episodes. Of course, probably all of you have seen this in the news, but as we have this recurring theme of reminding the world that we have a climate change and crisis to deal with, and probably can't get over that without that. Thanks for watching. Pulse Audio has survived this, so maybe it is previous. If you're into a PS3, you had a previous live stream that failed a little bit because either Pulse Audio or more likely can also hold it into the camera. Not a sponsored advertisement, because this shit is shit. Don't buy it. By the way, am I even probably still running on manual focus? So yeah, don't buy this. You have seen the previous video, Epiphan. Not only expensive, overpriced crap. Also by the only driver, not amazing. Either that fails, or the USB-C bandwidth, or Pulse Audio, something of that sort. So yeah, if you're new, PS3, stream before that. Otherwise, let me know what you like to see more. Programming, STI Octane, PS3, and fun stuff like that. How many people do we even have in the audience? Quite some. That is also cool. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this summary. Always amazing to hang out together. I see P3 is more prominent here, more sought after. But leave me down in the comments, which parts do you find the most amazing? Are you here for climate change controversy or P3? And I want to see G5. Okay, G5 you have seen yesterday in the amazing Xeon update, but no kidding aside, we will also get the G5 out, not only yesterday, but building Firefox certainly for the P3. That is of course the only benefit of binary only packages, built once, run many times, especially on the P3, the SGA Octane, and the VIA. And fun fact, I wonder which is the last version that has MIPS support. By the way, are we focused? Maybe not really, huh? Some of the camera focuses here on whatever. This is why usually I have this on. Can we focus on that maybe? And yeah, just for the Octane would be slightly fun. Of course, IRIX ships there with some version of Netscape, whatever Netscape 3 of that sort that you have seen in the SGI IRIX video from a year ago. Would of course be fun if we have Firefox for MIPS. But do I have something to natively build this? But there you see a recurring theme. If you, by the way, fun fact, I recently updated Dillo, some extremely small web browser that compiles in just half a minute. Of course, it doesn't do CSS and whatnot. If you're interested in the latest updates, for example, I've updated Mesa today. So latest also set standard. Actually, it is so new, even this has not refreshed because it is cron refresh three times a day. Yes, this 5enet, I hope that doesn't break something. Otherwise, set standard maintenance release. Mesa is a maintenance release that is even running here already. I fixed Open Chrome in T2 to install on the right directory for the VIA in that, and all the daily updates here. So thanks for watching, helping here all the other platforms stuff. We have also, by the way, maybe a little bit shout out here. How would someone start developing, fixing drivers for the Linux kernel? I would want to get my hands dirty on this type of stuff. I use Arch, by the way. Well, I usually recommend, because the problem is if you buy something, is my microphone, by the way, maybe in the future I need to probably, you have seen the previous live stream P3 failing with capture gear. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe right now. This YouTube channel stuff here, a huge loss. Less than 1%, actually 1 per mil of my turnover here of extra code. So to support me here, if you like what we are doing and want that we increase production quality, get here gear that doesn't break and dongle galore hell and failing stuff, and have here some budget to already overstress the budget of buying Xeon boards and VIA and stuff. And of course here's this amazing, don't hold this in the camera, not that it breaks this here, but maybe a little bit. Also we have it here then, so yeah, PS3 certainly, and stuff here, so already huge losses here for you for YouTube. So yeah, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to finance here all this fun stuff. And this also brings me to how do you get into this. I advise to do what you would like works better for you. And yes, Linux kernel is coded in C. Why do you say this? This is a known fact. This is a question or answer. Do what is not working for you. For example, on the ThinkPad here, do we even have, if the stream breaks, then it is due to holding this up. Let's see, can we also focus this? So yeah, on this amazing ThinkPad, thanks to Lenovo loaning me this a couple of longer weeks than usual. Also zero drop frames, amazing stuff. And there's what I already realized, all the other many ThinkPads before. So on most modern ThinkPads, I am also always surprised, like I fixed the Realtek codec on the Microsoft Surface and previous ThinkPads and Dell XPS or something where the base frequency response was off. And I'm really surprised that nobody else usually fixes this. So the microphone input doesn't work on the 4-pin TRRS headphone jack connector. I will probably take a look into this. Hopefully this is just a couple of lines there of some pin codec stuff there, because problems as usual finding the specification. So I suggest If you have something like this, like you want to use a microphone input, it doesn't work, then try to get this working. Ask if you don't find the spec or don't find where to start, ask on the mailing list, like ALSA mailing list, Advanced Linux Sound Architecture. Or if you want some graphic stuff work better, or some X stuff, or some window manager, whatever you would like to hack on, just try it. I don't suggest that you buy something from eBay, because then you spend money and this might not be what you want to do for yourself. Unless, of course, you want a PS3 or you want a G4 Cube, then of course do it. But otherwise, try to fix what you have, what you think should work better, like improving out of memory kill situations on the Linux server, or other non-working microphone input, not working optical output, not working LED lighting, not working fan control, this kind of stuff. Would be my suggestion to start with whatever is already not working for you. Still wonder why the Linux kernel is coded in C, was written there by old school 1970, 1978, something. I'm not the greatest fan of that though. Maybe you comment why you have written this. Amazing stuff that this time neither Pulse Audio or our DOCSIS cable internet stuff failed. At least some progress here. So the next days we will continue with PS3 stuff and all the other fun stuff. And with it, it's probably time to say thanks for watching again. Hope you learned something from all the amazing news here. As usual, looking for your comments even later. Always nice to chat. And yeah, you see so much stuff. Also, yeah, G5 we will do because we will have release season. So we will do all the builds of T2, fix the build errors, test the ISOs here on all the Spark Power PC stuff, you name it, and show what I want. I was more towards Ian. Love to. Thanks for the content. You're welcome. Looking forward to more integer scaling use. Yeah, maybe we can do Turing integer scaling on a PS3 cell there in the background for the most smooth cell-based integer scaling performance in 2019 the world has ever seen. Looking forward to meeting with you. Maybe in some weeks time I will keep you updated, because this time I will be with my own car there, although probably with my wife. So we need to entertain her somewhere, and this is also can't sleep in the car then, because she will probably not be too happy about that, and my father doesn't want to loan me his bus. So would so love to have some episode driving through the European countryside with Volkswagen bus and doing YouTube live out of this, but you see, nobody supports you, not even your father or your wife. Everything you need to learn, not even a camera assistant, and nature and stuff. There you have it. Yeah, amazing stuff, except when the nature is burning, and that was somewhere in this news. I probably scrolled over this. Thanks for watching. Don't burn the Amazon rainforest, because the planet Earth needs this, and more amazing stuff than that sometime soon. Otherwise this, and with that, good night, see you soon, and I hope you enjoy my increasingly amazing OBS setup that is amazing if Pulse Audio doesn't crash or the USB-C bandwidth is exhausted. And yeah, good night, good day, hope to see you soon for all the next more amazing stuff to come.